9 years gone wasted on her. I have been with my GF for about 9 years, and I support her 100% financially. She quit working as soon as we moved in together, so I had to support her. She also has a 20-year-old daughter that lives with us that I also support. It started when I went to visit my parents for Christmas. She didn't want to come, so I went alone. My parents live on the East Coast, and I'm currently on the West Coast. So she told me she's going to go to a cabin on Boxing Day with her friends and their kids. I thought this was a little suspicious that she was leaving her daughter on the day after Christmas. But I didn't say anything. When she got that, I asked her to send me photos, but she was barely texting me and wouldn't answer my phone calls unless she was outside. How I found out she was lying was that I knew she had a guy friend that she played an online game with, and I knew where he lived. We knew each other's passwords on everything. So I checked Find My phone. And she was in his town and not where she said. I called her right away and told her that I knew where she was and I want her to tell me. She kept lying, saying she was at the cabin with her friends. Finally, I said to her that I know you're with him and I want you to admit it. She did admit it, but said that they're just friends, so why lie about it? Things were horrible when we both got back home. I said if you want us to still be together, then he has to go. No more gaming with him or chatting. She didn't agree with this and kept gaming with him. So things were awful. No sex or affection at all between us at all. Fast forward to about a month and a half later, I had to go out of town for work and would be gone for a few weeks. Still at this point, she had no idea how I found out where she was. The day after I left, she called and told me was at her best friend's house about 30 minutes from our house, but I was looking at the Find My iPhone app again and she was at an airport close to that guy's town. I called her right away and told her we were done. She lied and lied before she finally told me she's with him again, but she said they're just friends. I hung up on her and she immediately called me back over and over and started texting me. So I answered the phone and said we'd talk things over when we both got back home. I had no intention of talking about anything with her. I lied this time. When I got back home, she was already there. I told her that I was very upset and confused and needed some time to think. She was trying to hug and kiss me. But I wasn't having it. I packed up all my clothes, movies, video games, and computer and stayed with my brother for a couple weeks while I was looking for an apartment. As soon as I got my apartment keys, I blocked her and all her family and ghosted her. Only saw her once after that at a local grocery store where she cornered me and asked me to unblock her and that we needed to talk. She followed me around and wouldn't leave me alone until I exploded and shouted that I can't talk to you because you cheated on me, and she looked so embarrassed and walked away from me. Story number 2. I, 29 male, was dating a younger girl. She was 19. It started as a fling that started when she was 18, but it grew. I really didn't want to date her due to the age gap. She was pretty mature, and she thought I only wanted her for sex, so I felt like I might as well give it a chance. Things went well for the first 6 months or so. Later, she started talking to this dude who I knew. I knew she had mental health issues, plus low self-esteem on top of an eating disorder. And in my experience, all that usually leads to cheating. I found out she was having Instagram conversations with this guy who I knew was crushing on her. I told her we can just break up, no hard feelings. I know you're young and want to enjoy your time. She said she hadn't done anything, and she was just scoring some drugs. I have my own vices, so I didn't judge her for wanting some acid. She was begging me to stay, saying she was in love, etc. I didn't have a valid reason to break up with her, so I let it ride. I find out not 3 days later that the guy got kicked out of his place and was staying at her mom's place. I put 2 and 2 together and we broke up. I wasn't that mad because I had fun and got what I wanted out of it until she started telling people I held her hostage for months. This made me seem like a bad guy in my community. Some people still believe it, even though it was 100% consensual. That part hurts the most because we could have left on good terms. but she wanted to justify her actions by throwing dirt on me.